offense. All right, we got a couple more way too early polls to get after. We'll discuss coming up on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And go check out the Everydayer Club, lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer club for more of Locked On Sooners. You can get ad-free audio in Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you like to download and listen to podcasts. You can also get an invite to a members-only chat through a Discord server. So Discord is an app that you can download to your phone or your laptop, and you can interact with Jay and I and many more across the Locked On Network for $5 a month or $50 a year. That's the Everydayer Club, where, again, you can just talk ball with so many people around the world and across the Locked On Network in the Everydayer Club. Again, lockedonpodcast.com/Everydayer Club. All right, Jay, we got some more way too early polls to get into. Let's start with Stuart Mandel. Noted Oklahoma hater. Is that too strong of a word?
I guess we could call him a hater. He's a noted Oklahoma critic.
Yeah. Shun the unbeliever. Shun.
Yeah, he's a noted unbeliever. But he did give Oklahoma props going into this season. He felt like we were going to improve. So he did say take the over on the win total. I will give him that. But I don't – he's not too high, nor is he too low. Well, yeah, or too low. He brings enough of a logical argument that I can't be mad at him. I haven't seen too many inconsistencies in the way he measures everybody. So I'll give him that. But yeah, he is definitely not a believer. We'll give him that part of it.
Yeah. So he had the Oklahoma Sooners coming in at number 9 in his way too early 2026 rankings, behind Oregon at number 1, Ohio State at 2, Georgia at 3, Miami at 4, Texas at 5, Indiana at 6, Notre Dame 7, BYU at 8, and then Oklahoma at 9 and Texas Tech at 10.
Interesting.
BYU at 8.
BYU at 8. That's a fascinating. A lot of people are really, really into the BYU piece, which I think BYU can be good. I mean, until they lost their DC. They did keep their coach, which is always a plus.
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting. Of course, Texas, 5.
Yeah. The thing that fascinates me about the Big 12 is, again, they're not really going to play anybody except for Texas Tech plays BYU maybe. And I haven't looked at their schedules yet, but it's favorable scheduling again for the Big 12. And so we're not going to really know what these teams are all about, because we thought BYU was good and they got trounced both times they played Texas Tech, and Texas Tech got shut out by Oregon. So I don't know what to make of the Big 12 and anybody that is going to be considered a contender out of that until we see them against a top Big 10 team or a top SEC team. So that's the only one that I have questions about. Notre Dame is going to get love just because it's Notre Dame. They're like Texas, very much so, in that anytime the media can thrust them into a top 10, they're going to. It's just like clockwork. You're going to see Texas and Notre Dame inside the top 10 when they're good. And Notre Dame's a good team, but I think they get the benefit of their brand, much like the Dallas Cowboys get the benefit of their brand often, and maybe a little bit more overrated at times than they should be.
Yeah, BYU, let me see, they play Notre Dame at home this year. We'll find out pretty quick. Yeah, we'll find out very quick, actually, right? Because that will most likely be a quote-unquote top 10 matchup at that point. Mm-hmm. It depends if they make it through Iowa State, in which they should. Iowa State's a full refresh. They travel to TCU. They got Arizona at home, Colorado State, UCF on the road, Arizona State at home, Utah on the road. So you got the Holy War in November, which is very disappointing that they do that. I know they do it for a reason, but it's like, do that Thanksgiving weekend like everybody else. That would be so much cooler, right?
Well, I mean, Greg Sankey in the Big 12, not Greg Sankey, sorry. Brett Yormark in the Big 12.
Disrespecting Paw Paw?
I apologize, Papa Funky. Don't take me off the nice list. Brett Yormark in the Big 12 did that to Oklahoma too. They put Oklahoma and Oklahoma State on like the first weekend of November one time, and I was like, "What are we doing here? Why? Why is this?" Yeah. Anyway, he likes to spread out his rivalry games so that they all get a little bit of play. Which I think, okay, you could say that that's smart marketing, but when it comes to rivalry weekend, dude, everybody's tuning in no matter what.
Right. Now, unless you've got something in there that's the reason why you do it. So, like, for example, Georgia and Florida do theirs midway because of, I think there's something going on in that area that they're doing it. But at the same time, Georgia has Georgia Tech on Thanksgiving and Florida has Florida State. So they've got other rivals that they need to accommodate for. It was Oklahoma, Texas, because it's in the middle of the fair on purpose. Yep. And then it used to be Oklahoma State at the end of the year, Texas A&M, which now that tradition's back. Oklahoma State has not come back yet. So that won't be there. But yeah, you would like to see more of that. But I'm not mad at Stuart. I mean, this is basically what he said on. He said Oklahoma made it to the college football playoffs despite a limited offense, which is very fair. Material will hopefully be healthier, while Satania, Harris, and Livingstone, which is 965, 847, and 516, are formidable receiving trio. The running game remains a concern, and we talk about that. If the running game shows up, different game. And then Brent Venables' top 10 scoring defense loses standout in R. Mason Thomas, but bring back some of its best playmakers. And they added, Big Ten star Cole Sullivan, and Sandell won the Lou Groza Award. So, truth be told, you get the kicker back that won the award. You bring in a linebacker to help, with Kip Lewis, who's returning. So that's pretty solid. And you lose two guys, but your young guys are coming up. I've been hearing great things about James Nesta. Watch out for that. Watch out for that name. Watch out for what he could possibly be. Then R. Mason Thomas being gone. Taylor Wan did a great job of stepping in for him as soon as R. Mason was out. Now you just need the other edges to do something to go with it. And I expect PJ or Danny to become that dude. You're good to go. Like, I see why he gave us the number 9. The question is the run game. If the run game does produce, John's going to put up numbers. John's going to probably put up 3,000 yards next season. He put up 2,800 with a messed up thumb. He'll do 3,000 next year, especially based upon who we play against. If the run game shows up, John, there's no excuse not to get back to 10 or if not 11 wins and make it back to the playoffs.
Yeah, and the other part of that is living up to expectations and living up to the hype, right? They were a team in, 2023 where they started the season off great. What was it, 7-0 after beating Texas, and then kind of snuck by UCF and then lost back-to-back games to Kansas and Oklahoma State. And then your season it didn't derail. You were able to rebound and get to 10 wins, but you missed the college football playoff when it was all right there in front of you. And so going into a season in 2026, when you're expected to be a top 10, top 15 team at minimum, it's about then living up to those expectations, living up to the hype, and still grinding, still being that tough nose to the grindstone team that you were in 2025 when you didn't have any expectations, or you had minimal expectations, right?
Yeah,
this was a team that they were outside of the coaches poll. They were in the 20s in the AP poll in the preseason. So you had a lot to prove. Well, okay, you've proven it, and now you've got to prove it again. You can't rest on what you did in 2025. You've got to go do it again in 2026 to earn your spot back.
Exactly. Just got to do it again. And John, I think they can do it. So this year is a year I'm not concerned about us repeating at least what we did last season. Yeah. Mainly because, barring injury, knock on wood, this team should be able to go out there and do the exact same thing they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to Oklahoma's leadership to make sure that everybody understands the assignment.
Yeah, and we let's talk about that tomorrow, because I have something to say about what Oklahoma needs to do in order to understand what the assignment is.
Let's go. We'll do that on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Sooners. Coming up next, Trinidad Chambliss is expected to get his waiver for another year. What could that mean for an important Oklahoma Sooner?